From the beginning, the leftist feminist movement was something done to bring back right-wing conservatism. That is where I draw the parallel. The women pretend to be revolutionaries, sexual revolutionaries, but that is just to scare men into stopping the war and coming back to the marriage. Hey guys, my name is Rodrigo Ferrari, or Platinho. Welcome to my channel in English. Today I'm gonna talk about Aristophanes, the playwright from ancient Greece. Even though he wrote 2500 years ago, what he said is so perfect to explain what's going on with women in general, but you can think of it in terms of feminism and anti-feminism. That I would claim it is essential to understand, to know at least these three stories that he has. Aristophanes has three plays that are very relevant to the topic of women. The most famous one is Lysistrata, sex strike, I think you guys call it, where the women, they're not gonna have sex with their husbands until they end the war with Sparta. It's the Athenian women, and they talk with the Spartan women to do the same, so all the wives of both states, they go on strike until the men sign the peace agreement, which happens. The second one that is not as famous, but still a little bit famous, is the Assembly of Women, I guess. It's a play where women literally take power from men. It's perfect for feminism. They're like, there's a day, a holy day, where men can't go to the assembly to vote. So the women, they just all dress as guys and they go there and they vote to give power to women. And then their decisions is absurd, but they're literally communists. They end private property, they take everyone's money because they say men are corrupt and you know, the state knows better. They also abolish marriage. So you have like women taking power in his play, and the two main things, they're socialists, they abolish private property, and they abolish marriage. I mean, this is like ridiculously relevant. And the third one, the least famous one, I don't even know if there's a translation to its name. I'll put the name in the description if I remember, but it is about like an SJW Inquisition, an inquisition of social justice warriors. So Aristophanes wrote the play about Euripides, who was another playwright of tragedies. And he was famous for writing, you know, he was like a misogynist, old school misogynist, because he talked trash about marriage. So in his play, in Aristophanes' play, the women were going after Euripides. They wanted to punish him for talking bad about marriage and, you know, giving them problems. They wanted to like punish him in their own court. They wanted to bring him by force to their own quarters This is where the religious festival comes into play. There was an ancient religious festival where women got together and it was forbidden for men to get even close. And they broke taboos, there were strange rituals, you know, it was kind of like a super feminist rave party. And all the women synchronized their periods and so on. So it was something related to that festival. The women were all together and they decided, let's get Euripides and punish him and probably kill him. So that's what the play is about. But this is just the summary. Now I want to talk about the sex strike. This is the really important part, I think. So how does the book start? Why do the women want the men to stop the war? They want men back. They want men to come back to the marriage. And they're complaining that they never see their husbands. They miss their husbands. And here is where it gets interesting. They didn't just do a sex strike. What they did, because men weren't gonna believe that they were gonna do a sex strike. You know, men don't take women seriously. That's in the play. So they were gonna play with the worst fears of men. They were gonna pretend to be Amazons, you know, just like, that's where I'm drawing the parallel. Just like the women today, the feminists today acting like men, acting like they hate men, acting like Amazons, you know, savage and so on. But that is just their way of, you know, messing with us. That is their way of making us go crazy and take them seriously when we shouldn't. So Lysistrata, the leader of the rebellion, she makes literally every girl there swear that they won't break character, that they won't stop pretending to be super crazy Amazons. So the man will, you know, believe them and be scared of them. But in fact, what they want is to bring them back. Something else that they do is they dress as sexy as possible. They try to tease men as much as possible, but not give them anything. So here's I think exactly what happened with the feminists today. Because they have all their talk about sexual freedom, but you look at the numbers and people are having less sex today than than ever since they started to measure the thing. And we know how people are sexually frustrated. I don't know the exact numbers, but probably there's like a small percentage of men who are having a lot of sex, and a bigger percentage of women who are having a lot of sex, and the rest is not having any sex at all. So the point is, feminism today to me is kind of a sex strike. It's precisely the sex strike to bring men back. That's what they want. So the point was, from the beginning, the leftist feminist movement was something done to bring back right-wing conservatism. That is where I draw the parallel, because that's what they do in the play. The women pretend to be revolutionaries, sexual revolutionaries, but that is just to scare men into stopping the war and coming back to the marriage. And so it's perfect, because you think, who in their right mind would think that the leftists, everything that they were doing, everybody knew that can't work. Everybody knew that their arguments were gonna make men go crazy and vote against them, So why do they do it? And in my mind, it makes all sense that they are pretending to be sexual revolutionaries because they miss men. Because if you think about it, like before all this happened, it's more than a decade that men have, we are in our own worlds. We have so many toys now, computers and so on. I mean, nobody wants to spend time with girls. Let's face it, this is our fault. We stopped wanting to spend time with them because they're boring, I guess. I mean, we want sex, we want love, but they aren't good at video games like our friends, and things like that. I'm exaggerating, of course, but I think men have withdrawn from the outer public world into their own tribal lives, away from women, and women want us back. So they started to pretend they were sexual revolutionaries just to draw us out of our caves and start to take them seriously. And then we would bring back conservatism and marriage, which is exactly what the point was, and which is exactly what probably is, at least it seems that is happening. Because, after the sexual revolution of the Americans, Trump won over Hillary. And in Brazil, the women here, they did exactly the same. I mean, after Hillary lost, they did exactly the same and lost also, but not with the small margin that Trump. It was like ridiculous, complete landslide destruction. But and I think it wasn't. I mean, you could say women are stupid. I don't think so. I think if you judge by the things they say, maybe you think they're stupid. But I don't think they really believe what they're saying. I think their words are kind of separated, especially when they go into this sisterhood uberalis mode. They just say whatever they have to say in the name of producing the effects that have to be produced. One of my premises is that women are way smarter than they know they are, in the sense that like their bodies have knowledge to produce effects that they don't know consciously that they have that power, but the body is already it automatically does what it has to do, producing its effects on the world. I mean, maybe that's too crazy, I don't know. I guess that's where I end the video. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll do more videos soon enough. Later.